Amigos family, it is Danny here in sunny Chinandega with Manuel.
Hi everybody, how's everybody doing?
And we are super excited just to be hanging today. We've got a couple cups of cafecito, some coffee here, and ready to talk about 2025 and ready to talk about life. So just to introduce Manuel, I know everybody listening knows Manuel, loves Manuel, can't wait to get back to Nicaragua this summer to hang with him. But he's our leader of our partnerships team. And so for everybody that has come on trips, that's going to be joining us on mission trips this year, he and his team are doing an incredible job of setting the stage for us to have the best time of our lives and really enjoy our time here in Nicaragua. So we decided to sit down and chat. We are here in the Centro Juvenil, our youth center here at our Amigos complex, just ready to chat.
Great.
So I wanted us to get started. Manuel and I's friendship began years ago. Hace muchos años, years ago.
Yeah.
And I want to hear from your perspective. You were working as a Spanish teacher at the time. You were in Granada, where you're from, and you heard about this visit from somebody from Amigos for Christ or Amigos por Cristo. So I want you to tell everybody, what do you remember from all those years ago? And what was it like having me as a student, especially for Spanish class?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to do this for the first time this year. It's really amazing to be able to spend time and talk about my experience, because sometimes we normally think about other people, right? We don't think about ourselves. And having this opportunity, it always takes me to the first time, and that's really important for me, because I have the opportunity as well to be able to say thank you God for having given me the opportunity to meet this guy. Because by the time I met you back in the days, I'm always sharing with everybody, I was supposed to go on vacation that week, all right? Before that week, I was always praying to have the opportunity to go to somewhere else and do something different. I was always praying for that, right? So when my boss came and said, Manuel, you're going to work next week. I'm sorry for your vacations, but you're going to stay.
No more beach, no more fun. You got to be stuck. Speaking to Danny.
Look, and I had a plan with my family that week, because I was busy all the time, And I was angry, being honest with everybody. I was angry, and I was trying to say, no, I will not go. I've been working since last year with no stopping. I need my vacations. So we had a 2-story building. So we were in the second floor, and he was trying to convince me to make a plan for this guy coming next week with a group. And we actually, in the Spanish school, we depend a lot on groups.
Yeah.
If we have groups, our economical situation is going to be better. So I was feeling a little bad about it, saying no, but I was like trying to go on my vacations with my family.
And at this point, you had been teaching there for
almost 10 years.
Okay, wow, yeah.
Almost 10 years. So I was going downstairs that day, and this is always, this has been my life all the time. I pray for something, and later on, that something comes to my life. But this time, it was a little different. All right, so I was going downstairs that day, and something in my head was like, you should think about this before you go home, because maybe this is something that you have been waiting for all this year. And let me tell you, I was asking for that for 10 years almost, because being a Spanish teacher, it was not good for me, because I thought, or I was feeling that I was not doing what I was trying to do. And what I was trying to do is, as always, as a good Christian, try to have enough time to pray, read the Bible, help others. So I was looking for that, right? So something hit my head and said, stay. So I went upstairs that day. I apologized first and say, hey, my boss, I'm sorry. I was just kidding, you know?
Yeah, that was bad attitude. It was just a joke.
But let me tell you, I'm going to make my plan right away. I'll show you my plan a little later, and then we can get these people next week, and I'll be working for you. Not a problem. So I made you. And it was amazing, you know, having someone with someone like advanced in Spanish like you, and then being a little afraid of, oh my gosh, my plan is not working with this guy because he's so advanced in Spanish. I had my plan for you, but it didn't work. But you have to improve something.
Yep, you gotta improvise.
The second after, I was like, I got this. I know what to do with Danny. So I got the book and I said, I know this guy is gonna do it like really well, but we will see. Okay, Danny, this is your exercise. Let's do this. And it was awesome. It was funny to be able to say, yeah, I'm teaching something to this guy, you know.
Do you
That
remember-
was my job.
I've made up stories in my head over all these years of what I read that day. Do you remember what it was that you gave me to read?
It was something about actually a foreigner.
Okay.
Yeah. Receiving help from a local family.
Okay.
And it was everything was in present tense, and I asked you to change it to past tense.
Yeah.
But as you know, we have different past tense in Spanish. We have like 8 past
You
tense.
gave me the most complicated past tense to do. I remember that. Yeah.
You got it. And I was having fun when you were making mistakes, and I was correcting you, and you were getting angry, and it was pretty. I don't know. I enjoy it.
So just to set the context for everybody listening, we've always had the great benefit of having, you know, team members or volunteers that come from the States.
Yeah.
And we'll spend, you know, and some sort of extended amount of time here. So that could be several months, that could be several years, that could be, you know, close to a decade, but people who come and work here. So as a part of our program, then we were trying to figure out how can we help our team really improve their Spanish and go in. So, you know, I was working on that team and trying to figure it out. So I said, oh, I'll go. And a little bit of me was like, I know Spanish pretty well. You know, I'd been here for maybe a couple of years at that point and had been, you know, a volunteer before. And I remember stepping in and I remember us talking and you kind of doing a little interview style to get to know my Spanish. And I remember sitting down and it's like you just conquered the situation in that moment. I remember sitting there, we were in that back room on the left, had to put everything in the hardest past tense. And I was getting so frustrated. But funny enough, I remember that making our connection even stronger.
Yeah.
Because you were coaching me. You're like, hey, don't get frustrated, keep going. Hey, don't get frustrated, keep going. And that's what our friendship has been since then over all these years, back and forth, trying to help each other, you know, just do better and better. So I remember we walked through the Mercado in Granada. We kind of went around and you were, you know, saying hi to everybody just as you always do. What do you remember after I left? I remember we kind of said, hey, well, let's keep in touch and hey, come visit us and see us in Chinandega. But what was going through your mind, you know, once I was gone and this little seed of Amigos had been planted, what was going through your mind and heart?
So as soon as you told me that I was invited to come to Chinandega and be able to do something different in this department or city, state, I was totally happy. First of all, I was jumping in one leg. I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. And I was in my heart, my mind, I knew it was God, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to go on my vacation that week. And then I met you, you invited me to come here. And I was like, this is what I was looking for. So I was totally happy, went back home, spoke with my wife, said, hey, I probably have a job offer in Chinandega, great organization, blah, 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 blah. And she immediately said, I might not go with you because this is something crazy to do for us. So I will not go.
And the kids
immediately was like,
how old were the kids at this point?
Keisha was like I don't know, let me see, like 6 years, 6 years old, probably.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think we had Tyrese by that time. Yeah, back in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was awesome, but at the same time, Cassandra and I tried to come to Chinandega 3 times. Okay, 3 times, and she was always saying no, 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 no. And I totally get it because it's difficult for my people to move to a different city, especially because you are leaving your home, leaving your parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, everything.
Everything. Yeah.
You are leaving behind your family, and it's really difficult for my people in Nicaragua to do that at some point in your life. Still difficult, you know.
So I was just going to say, fast forward all these years later, obviously we stayed in touch. You hopped into another position at a different job. We're there for a little while. And as you said, tried to come to Chinandega, things fell through or the trips couldn't happen. Eventually, finally, we were on track of, okay, we've got this job. We have this team that we're looking to grow, and we're looking to welcome tons of people from all over the United States and all over the world to come and join us on mission trips. So I remember that week. That was back in 2018.
2018.
And so fast forward all these years later, right? It's 2025. What is it about Amigos? What is it about our work here that despite the big move, leaving family in a different spot, having your family come and raise you guys raise your kids in a different spot. What's kept you here, and what's kept you inspired?
Oh, first of all, God. I will always say God is still having me in this city. I feel like I still have a lot to do. That would be my first answer. But then I'm gonna tell you, people. My people in my city is gonna be a little different than these people in Chinandega. People in Chinandega are more friendly, are more honest as well, and I like to see that in people. Not only people in Chinandega, but also all the gringos that come to my country, leaving their family back in the States for 1 week, from 3 a.m., traveling for 12 hours, sitting in a hot spot in that bus and traveling 2-3 more hours to be able to get Amigos for Christ compound.
It's interesting you say hottest spot on the bus. I think every spot's the hottest spot on the bus.
Everything is really hot.
So you mentioned gringos. What does gringos mean to you?
I really love this word because it's something that we're gonna use all the time when we talk about people coming from Gringolandia or the USA.
Okay.
That's the only word we use. As soon as we see people from the US, we're gonna say gringo, So people are gonna be most important always. So we're gonna be in different situations when we meet, but we're gonna be the same. We're looking for something in common, because people coming from the United States, they are coming to help.
Yeah.
They are coming because they are missing something inside, probably. I'm not saying that that's something that it happens with every person who come to Chinandega, but it was the same for me. Something was inside of me, something was missing.
Yeah.
I was getting money, I was getting food. I was not renting house. I'm renting in Chinandega. I'm spending money on renting in a house here. I got everything back in Granada, but something was missing inside. Not only in my heart, but also my mind. So every time I can see one of those groups, I see myself in that people, because I was in that place and I know they are missing something inside, and I try to be little bridge in between them, my community, and probably that something that is missing in them, because I had that experience. And I was so very welcome in this city, that I tried to pay back what people have been doing for me, even though it's the same country, but different city. There are different people. We could be different sometimes.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, I think all of us who decide to come on a trip, whether that's like me when I was 18, I just graduated from high school, whether that was you coming from Granada, after you had a family and, you were working, or whether that's somebody that's coming right after they just retired, coming from, the Midwest or coming from one of the coasts of the United States. We all arrive here seeking something.
Exactly.
It's seeking it's seeking connection with people that we're with, seeking connection with God, seeking connection with a different part of the world that we maybe haven't seen before, that we have seen before, and that we've fallen in love with. And I think, whether it's a couple of days or whether it's a week or whether it's several years, what we seek, does fill us. And you mentioned having kind of that open space or something was missing. I think each of us are filled by that. That's what keeps us coming back. That's what keeps us involved, and that's what keeps us excited about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's happened recently? It can be, the beginning of this year or something last year that you got to see at work, or that you got to see through one of our mission trips or through somebody in the community that we partner with, that just made you happy or brought you joy, something that filled up your heart and soul?
Last year was really amazing for me, since we work, if I'm not mistaken, in 5 different communities. First one, second one, third one, it was beautiful. But the fourth one, I remember La Pascuala. In La Pascuala, I met a lady. She is kind of like 60 years old, something like that. And as always, I'm always asking questions to people. How you feeling about the water project? What's your dream about it? What you're gonna do with the first time you have clean running water at your home, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of receive the same answer all the time. This is a blessing. This is going to be good for my kids in the future, my grandkids later on in the future as well. And I was kind of like used to listen to the same answers all the time. But this lady, she said something that I won't forget ever in my life. She said, Manuel, since you are asking me this, I'm going to be honest with you. And I would tell you that this is a blessing for me and also my family for sure. I was like, yeah, same answer all the time. But she said, but let me tell you why. Water for me is pain, she said. So my heart, I'm a crier. I'm always saying I'm a crier. I can cry like this immediately. So I was about to cry when she said that, but I didn't know why.
A pain?
It was, she literally say, water means pain for me. And she was living like 500 meters from the community well. So it's like, okay, can you please explain to me a little better?
Yeah.
And she was like, I've been doing this since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
All right. And you are almost 60, something like that. So it's more than 40 years doing the same thing all the time. And she was like, 13 years old, my grandma taught me how to carry the water from the community well to my house for everybody. And it was only my grandma and myself doing this for 8, 9 more people in my family. So I was doing this when I was a child, when I was a teenager, when I grew up. I had my own kids, I have my grandkids now, and I haven't stopped doing that for my family. So now I have a bump in my head that every time I carry a bucket in my head is painful. So now having this water project, of course, I'm going to be happy and excited to be able to say, I will not do this again ever in my life, especially because women are the ones in charge of doing everything in the countryside.
Yeah.
They do the hard work. And she said, now I know my children, especially the ladies, las niñas,
Yeah.
they won't do this. They would not go through what I was having or being through my whole life. I was like, okay, thank you for sharing. Goodbye.
As tears are running down your face. Oh my God.
And I left. So water literally means pain to me. Will not forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to think about that. So, several systems last year. We're doing 8 water systems this year.
Yep. Thanks the Lord. Yeah. It's going to be great, man.
Yeah. doing 8 water systems this year, that's thousands of people that are at a spot where, whether that means pain or whatever that means, it's like that they're not gonna have to worry about that anymore, which is beautiful.
Exactly.
So you obviously get to help host thousands of people that come to Amigos, that come to Nicaragua. What is it like for you, being from Nicaragua, being from Granada, every Saturday, welcoming people every Sunday, going to climb Cerro Negro, every Monday morning, every Tuesday, throughout the whole week. What is it like to be you welcoming people from all over the world to come and play a part in this awesome thing that we have going on here?
For me, it's gonna be always exciting because you're gonna see friends coming back and say, "Hey, Manuel, how you doing?" Blah blah blah. Having good time since the very moment they get in Amigos. But also, I'm always excited because of the new friendship.
Yeah.
The new people, the new story that I'm gonna be like listening and all. At the same time, I'm gonna be like sharing something with them as well. I like inviting my friends to my house, my home, and be able to get dinner with my family. I know my family, Keisha, my daughter, she's 18 years old. She speaks some English, and she's getting better every time. And it's because of the friendship she's also making with group members. Cassandra, she doesn't speak English at all, but it's a good opportunity to be able to keep translating for my own family. So it's a good time all the time,
Before you know it, Keisha's going to be translating too.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
for sure.
I would love to see that in the future. I think she likes what she's doing with groups, especially creating that connection, making friendship, because it's, as everybody at that age is really good with technology.
Yeah.
So she's always texting, video call, It's pretty amazing. So I'm enjoying, I'm really happy with what I'm doing in Amigos for Christ. But most important for me is to see people connecting each other.
Yeah.
Even though we have the language barrier, I like seeing everybody going by sign, or now they are using the translator on the phones. But it's pretty cool.
So when you think about this year, we're gonna have tons of amazing people come and join us. What can people look forward to? What's it gonna be like to come on a mission trip this year for people? What's something you're excited about that you can share so that other people get excited as well?
I would say changing lives. You come into Nicaragua to change somebody else's life forever. Something that you have to keep in your mind all the time. I know this is a hard work. I know you're gonna be sweating most of the time because this country is really hot. Chinandega, second place in Nicaragua. This is the second hottest city in Nicaragua. So you're gonna be sweating all the time. But if you can forget that for one moment every day and realize that you are changing somebody else's life, and you don't have to look at the people you are working with this week that you are with us, but think about the new generation.
Yeah.
Think about the people who are coming back from this generation. They are going to be grateful with you their whole life. That's why you have to make sure you have enough time to spend with kids, because that's the way they're going to be like, remember this white guy, this gringo come in and help us getting dirty and sweaty. That's the way they're going to remember you. And the groups which come before, they inspire people to come now and help us dig in trenches in a different community for other people, of course.
That's great.
Yeah. Changing the world.
Changing the world.
Yeah, that's what you guys are going to be doing this year for sure. And every time you guys come down to Nicaragua or any other place you go to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the heart behind the work and what you're doing, and
Yeah.
believing that we're changing the world.
Yeah.
Which is why we're here.
Yeah. Just trust God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Manuel, anything else you wanna share with everybody listening?
I would love to everybody know that we guys love you. And when we say that, we truly mean it. And we can't wait to see you guys one more time coming and working with us, And
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Amigos family, this has been fun, Manuel. I could sit and chat with you literally all day long, every day. But we're gonna get ready to welcome some people. So for everybody listening, we will sit down together, have a cup of cafecito as well, just like we're having now. And as Manuel said, when anybody on our team says that we love you guys, it's because we mean it.
Yeah.
And when we say that we are here because we believe we're changing the world, it's because we really believe it. So thank you for what you do, Manuel. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your leadership, for your friendship, for that laugh that can be heard across the world. And yeah, so we look forward to seeing you soon, Amigos family. We love you guys.
Yep. Thank you.